Is everybody rolling? I didn't ask.
Everybody is rolling.
Yeah. my headphones came up. Yeah, baby. Feeling some kind of way.
Now
today.
your headphones are kind of covering the Padres thing is the problem.
Ooh, so it
well, they
seems like
slid
you're not
off.
a real fan.
It could be any yellow hat, really.
It seems
point.
like you don't
How's
actually
that look?
support your
Looks
team.
great. Yeah, now you look dynamite.
Oh, wow.
Lights out.
Thanks, buddy.
Of course.
You mean
Feeling
Dynamite written by Benny Blanco?
Sure.
Oh, my gosh. Benny Blanco's having a moment. Sorry, hold on a second. Hi, everybody. Welcome to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together we are.
Ryan and John.
On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla. And we've got this week the lovely Annie Skovmand. Always fresh, never frozen. Thank you so much for listening, guys. This podcast wouldn't be here without our Patreon supporters.
Without our homies.
Check it out in the bio down
They're
below.
real ones.
Link to support us financially.
Yes.
Benny Blanco is a music producer, and he's currently dating Selena Gomez. Engaged. That's right.
Mazel.
And they just released an album together. And he's like, obviously he's famous, but he's kind of having this moment where he's been in the spotlight a lot. The two of them did Hot Ones together, and they've been doing these like Vogue interviews and
He's
stuff.
an insane music producer. He writes and makes a lot of these songs you've heard.
I didn't realize how many songs
You have
he's
heard
written.
his songs, listeners, for sure, no matter what.
Between him and his friend Ed Sheeran, they've written a lot of hits over the past 10 years.
See, because I feel like I've known about Benny Blanco and his, how many songs he's written for like a little while now. Because it went viral like 6 years ago, where it was like there all of a sudden. Because that was the day I realized that like artists don't always
write their own
songs.
Yeah.
Because I always thought in my head, I mean, it makes sense. There's an industry where like you can buy a song and make it famous with your voice. But I was like, oh, if an artist came out with a song, like, oh, they wrote it, Because I was like, I thought that was part of being an artist. Is like you had to be a good writer.
Yeah, totally.
And a good performer,
like you
but it's not
should.
necessarily true.
I'm going to blast off a few songs that Benny Blanco has
Can't
written.
wait.
Justin Bieber, Love Yourself.
Yeah.
So if you like... Co-written with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but it also was
The way-
originally written as F Yourself. And Justin
You
Bieber
should
changed it
go
to
and
Love
Yourself. That's probably smart.
Yeah.
Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Rihanna, Diamonds. Shame rain like a diamond.
Diamond.
Katy Perry. We were just bumping some Katy Perry in the car on the way over here. Teenage Dream.
That
Mean
one's
anything
great.
to you?
That one's
How about
crazy.
California Girls?
I play that one at almost every junior high dance. I do nowadays.
Love.
They love that song.
They love California Girls?
I play the Kids Bop version.
Is it
yes.
vintage yet? Or or is it
sure.
still relevant?
There's one. I'll tell you. I won't say the name of the school because it's not relevant. But there's one
We'll bleep
school
it
here
out.
in East County that literally they play like Sweet Caroline, like all these classic songs at
like
recess.
actual vintage songs.
At recess, they play it, and all the kids know Sweet Caroline, like all these really good like old school songs. Don't Stop Believing. They love Don't Stop Believing. I'm like, really?
That's crazy.
I know, it's cool.
Camila Cabello, Crying in the Club. Don't know that one. Maroon 5, Payphone. Britney Spears, Circus.
He wrote
Oh,
Payphone?
Circus.
Yeah. He was. I saw an interview where he was showing. He showed the like the different stages of it. It was like, it wasn't like a super electronic at first. It was like more of a rock song.
How about this one? I hear your heart beat to the beat of the drums.
Boom, boom.
Little Kesha song.
He wrote a lot of Kesha.
Gym Class Heroes, Selena Gomez, SZA, Gracie Abrams. I mean, the dude's writing songs.
Gracie Abrams. What song did he do for Gracie? Abrams?
Unlearn.
I don't know.
Never heard of it. Gracie
Don't
Abrams
know
is a
it.
part of.
Shawn Mendes, Senorita.
Isn't Gracie Abrams? Oh no, it was wrong. Gracie. Never mind.
Gracie Abrams is J.J. Abrams' daughter.
Yeah. Okay. There's another
Oh.
Gracie that's part of Lawrence. Gracie Lawrence would be the name, but you know the brother sister duo.
She's in the band Lawrence.
Yeah,
I know.
I
Yes,
thought Gracie
I'm
Abrams
aware.
was that girl, but not. Wrong
No,
Gracie.
that'd be Gracie Lawrence
Yeah.
of Lawrence.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but they love Lawrence. They're a great band.
I saw this TikTok. Somebody was like talking about School of Rock. This is maybe a deep cut, but they were talking about how
Class.
Yo-Yo Ma's cousin, Lil Nepotiz, like got a job at the symphony or something, and they were like, I didn't realize that. Like, I thought Yo-Yo Ma's cousin was named Lil Nepotiz, and like that was like a stage name maybe, but it's like he was
Lil
harping
Nepotism.
about Lil Ne. I feel like that's such a good like rap
Dude.
name, Lil Nepotiz.
Just lean
There's
into it.
so many good lines in
School of Rock. Fantastic. Jack Black's having a moment too. He's
Yeah.
back in the spotlight. He's going to be in that Minecraft movie this weekend
God.
coming out. And obviously, we're going to see it because we're Stubbies.
Yeah, Stubbies
and
Unite.
you
well,
have nephews.
3 of the 4 of us.
You have
are
nephews,
Stubbies.
so you'll be seeing it
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
a few times probably.
You stubbies, have you seen the new Snow White yet?
No.
Have not seen it. It is under some scrutiny this week. I feel like
It's been under scrutiny the entire time.
I
it
feel
was
like
being made.
the body is like, just let it lie at this point, because they've been beating this movie down since it got released, basically. And there's been this long press junket where they've been talking about Snow White, and Rachel Zegler has been getting just her ass beat. Like, they're just beating her down, because every time
you think she deserves it though.
to be fair, every time she opens her mouth, it's like pretty cringe hilarious.
It's insufferable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty alright.
She's like has this Twitter video. It's like, to all my haters,
She's literally
just
the
want to
biggest
see me fail,
narcissist.
which can be true
out there.
but also, like, I don't know. She's getting torn apart for this thing. I feel like it can't possibly be that
She's
bad.
so
right?
talented. She just has an awful attitude.
Right.
Have you guys seen? I sent it to you. It's like the next rendition of Snow White that Disney produces, and it's basically that the prince gets kidnapped and Snow White has to come rescue him.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I'd see that movie. I don't know. What do you think?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that being the movie. If they want to change it, I mean, that's still a movie I'd see. Like, that's the other thing. I don't think, like, this whole Rachel Zegler thing. Like, she was like trying to, and all the press junk and stuff. She's like, this isn't your normal Disney movie, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But also, like, both those narratives can be good movies. You
but
know
it's
what I'm
so
saying?
obviously she's getting torn for that kind of stuff, and like, she's obviously just pushing the Disney talking points.
Yeah.
It's like in every Gal Gadot is saying the same stuff. She plays the evil queen. They're all saying the same thing. Like, this isn't your grandma's Snow White. This is a brand new version, and she is, a bad girl and doesn't need no man to
Okay,
save
Queen,
her.
yeah.
Exactly. And like,
Yeah.
which is obviously virtue signaling,
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
But Disney be doing that these
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
But all of the fire is coming upon
How
Rachel
about
Zegler.
Disney do what we've all want, which is just make new stories? Why are
Just
we
make new stuff.
remaking like the core 10?
Because they
Make
made
new stuff.
They made what's that one Star?
Go ahead.
They made that
Wish.
movie
You're talking
Wish,
about Wish,
and it
yeah.
like
Oprah Winfrey was in that.
got
wasn't she?
annihilated. People were like, "This sucks."
This sucks.
Yeah.
I also
it
think
was.
that you like the other thing too is like making live actions of classic movies. Like, can we call Time of Death on that? Like none of that stuff actually works. I just feel like animated movies, these classic Disney animated movies need to just stay where they are. I don't get why do a live action and have
because
all these
people
celebrities?
like nostalgia, and they like to be like, "Oh, remember when I was a kid?"
Okay,
They
but
love
who
that. If
wants
you
to
could
see
bottle
a new Snow White?
if you could
you know?
bottle that feeling of, "Oh, when I was a kid," you could charge anything for it. People love to be like, "Oh yeah, well, this thing was better back when I grew up,"
Oh, you're saying they're forcing the controversy.
they're-
controversy. They're forcing
Totally.
like
The
the,
con-
well,
the
the older one was
controversy-
better.
The controversy is icing on the cake for them. They're like, "We're going to just resell the same crap again." And we're like, "Oh yeah, I remember when you made that. That was great. Here's $1 billion, Disney." And it's
Yeah, I
getting
don't know.
shorter because Moana came out 10 years ago.
Don't
We're just
you feel like-
give us Moana again.
Don't you feel
$1
like
billion.
Wouldn't it be more interesting to just invest time in doing like little docs on how these movies were made? Because like I feel like as an
Yes.
adult, the nostalgia for the movies is there, and I'll always watch
Sure.
the animated versions. But if you release like a limited series where we're gonna talk about the animators that created this, Snow White or Sleeping Beauty or Lilo and Stitch, like that to me as an adult who loved that movie, because my kids are still gonna love the original animated
Yeah.
movie that I saw.
But years ago, weren't the remakes better?
What do you
Wasn't
mean?
the Sleeping Beauty that came out like people raved about it? It was like really
Are
good.
you talking about
Beauty and the Beast.
Maleficent?
Yes.
I think that was different enough, where the focus was like, it was
On
kind of the
Maleficent.
Wicked of Sleeping Beauty, right? Where
Yeah.
like she
Wasn't
was the
it
main
the same
character.
with Cinderella though?
No, Cinderella was pretty beat to beat, like the
Oh.
same remake.
But people
Beauty and the
people
Beast.
liked it. You weren't hearing this much
No.
hate.
Well, I think.
Well, that's
well,
a
you're
different story.
you're probably right. I think that was like those started coming out.
I think this
probably
one was already
2017,
it was already
2018.
Well, I think the problem is
what's it called?
They had a bad run. Lion King was bad. The
Yeah.
weird. It wasn't animation, but it
Yeah.
was like what was the?
What'd you say about my brother?
CGI Lion King.
Yeah.
That was bad, and they had a bad run. I think when those were coming out, they were better. People were like mesmerized, like it's like we get to see some of our favorite actors and actors do it in real life.
But I
Snow
think
White
that-
is kind of rough too, though, because it's like
Why would they recreate
you
that
have
one?
the dwarves and you have it's like a
Oh,
recipe for disaster.
And that when that all came out,
They remember they were
we
all
talked
different
about that.
sizes. And
Yes.
initially,
And
then-
now Peter Dinklage is saying you shouldn't have like little people portray dwarfs in movies because that's offensive.
yeah,
He's like
Yeah.
so
so
saying
why
the opposite.
remake this movie?
I- yeah.
That's my question. Is like out of all the movies you have, like what about some deep cut Disney movies that maybe didn't have like
the Black Cauldron.
the limelight, and like go in and pick something that's like, hey, we're gonna remake this.
Yeah.
It was arguably great and it didn't get like the
Okay.
justice it deserved.
So I'm hyped for this.
Yeah.
Is a friend of ours, one Chris Inez,
yes,
has been fronting this project, and now it's released. We're in this year. We're at the 30-year anniversary for a Goofy movie. You know, a Goofy movie,
love
right?
Goofy movie.
And in its honor, they're releasing this documentary, kind of what you were just saying about the making of a Goofy movie. It almost didn't happen. It was this entirely different movie, and they have all this like found footage basically of making that movie. So that's coming out at some point this year, this documentary.
Yeah.
But I love stuff like that. I think
That's interesting.
yeah, totally. I think as long as they can they're going to continue making money. I think that's the difference. Like interesting, no. Profitable, yes.
Yeah, but don't
So,
you feel like
bada
if
bing, bada boom.
Disney, like again, if you're talking about capturing this nostalgia, right?
Yep.
I think I think there's a huge market for that. I think you're absolutely on something. Well, then why doesn't Disney go out and invest in? We're gonna make 100,000 VHS players and all the classics on VHS. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine I would do that.
Sure.
If they sold a package where like where you got a VHS player and you got all the core 15 movies on VHS and they were selling it for $200. Oh, dude, in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't fit the model. The model used to be based on
The
the
vault.
limitation of the Disney Vault, where okay, you can buy the movie from this time to this time, but then when it goes away, we're not going to sell it anymore. Now they can do it with a push of a button. Oh, you got all the movies on Disney Plus. Oh, except for these, we're going to remove these. Boop.
Yeah.
Disney Plus. At any time, they can go. No, can't watch that one.
Remove the core and then sell them on VHS.
So why do any more work? We've
This
got this
Snow White-
backlog of 70 years of movies,
Yeah.
and now you'll
This
pay
new one?
anything.
I do
one
love
of the
Disney
most
Plus.
expensive movies
The Snow White.
they've had to make. They have only grossed $100 million,
Well, it's only been out one weekend.
and their budget
Uh-huh.
to make the film was $250 million.
Well, they had to remake it.
they did reshoots.
Yeah, I
a
mean,
ton of
they-
That's
reshoots.
becoming so normal where you hear the budget is like $300 million.
That's crazy.
Bonkers, right?
Don't
But
you feel like-
but it's a big gamble because they're like,
You
well, this
remember-
is going to make $1 billion
I
worldwide.
don't remember what
Yeah,
movie it was.
it's
Remember the
not
movie
good.
they shot fully on an iPhone? They were like, we shot the entire movie on an iPhone.
Yeah, that's kind of a trend. Well, you know what's crazy is I just saw this thing that Apple put out. Apple Plus they just did the last episode of this season of Severance.
Yeah.
And they have this whole, I'll send it to you, this whole thing about how the entire show was edited on their newest Mac Mini. And you're like, oh,
That's cool.
This whole thing's a commercial, right?
Yeah.
Because it's from Apple Plus. Oh, they're pushing this new Mac Mini, has a
That
better
is
processor.
genius.
And it's Ben Stiller and the editor sitting together with this Mac Mini. And they're like, oh, yeah. And this one guy goes, oh, yeah, well, at some point we were all working from different parts of the country, so I actually what is it called, went into it remotely,
Yeah.
and was editing off of that computer, but I was at my my MacBook
that
at home in
that
LA or
makes
something.
My heart.
Yeah,
warm.
I'll send it to you. It's a pretty cool.
But I remember that I saw an interview of an editor, and he was like it was a big time movie, they might be using something different now. But at the time, the Premiere was like the video editing stuff. Now DaVinci Resolve might have taken it over now, and we use Premiere Pro to edit even this show. And I remember the guy was like, he opened up the movie project, and it was like 50 rows of video footage and audio, and it was all, and I was just like, dude, like imagine, like I use the software for this show and for like all the things that I do. That there's another guy editing in a whole like movie.
Yes.
That's gonna be in movie theaters in the same program.
Think of the size of that. He said that for Severance, the second season was something like 60 terabytes or something of footage before being processed.
Well,
huge.
this show with all of our footage and our project,
the podcast?
it's about 30 gigabytes or 35, 40 gigabytes.
Crazy.
Which, I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of memory.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
a terabyte's
Absolutely.
160
terabytes.
I know that is nuts.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine. They're probably shooting in 8K.
Yeah.
And every shot
Yeah.
you do is like probably 50
Awesome.
gigabytes. You know,
So
it's
cool.
crazy. We should make a movie and shoot it on Super 8.
Oh, I would love to. That's on my bucket list this year.
Shoot it.
Shoot a Super 8 movie.
And then you send it all out, and it's like $1 million.
Yes. Totally.
$1 million on film
I
development.
think 3 minutes of Super 8 footage is something like I priced it out because I did a test reel last year, and it ended up being like so expensive, like $200 for 3 minutes or something.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
so $200 for okay, all right, for 3 minutes. Let's just go off of that. And then you have what? It's 120
Feature
minutes
film.
movie.
Let's call it 90 minutes. That's
90
on the
minutes.
short end these days.
3 minutes, and you said it was $200.
Yeah, I think after the reel of film plus the processing plus the digitizing, it was like
So we'll go
150.
90 minutes divide. Okay, all right. So then we have times 200. Oh wow, $6,000.
a full feature film. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Well, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do
I
it,
mean, it's
but-
not. We're not gonna do
Maybe
it.
we'll do a short film.
Short film.
We'd have to film it in Ireland.
Imagine shooting
Oh.
on feature on Super 8, and you have to do so many takes, and all that film is just nothing.
So awesome.
It's just terrible.
I love it. That's doing analog
Hey.
art for you.
Adam Scott had said that, and he and Rob Lowe were on a podcast together, and they said that they film a lot of their stuff in Ireland because it's cheaper to fly out everyone to Ireland than it is to film in LA.
In Ireland, huh?
Yes, I heard this.
Wow. Don't a lot of people film in Atlanta too?
Yeah, it's
Well,
way cheaper. Well, Tyler Perry's
Tyler
big
Perry's
thing.
got a 300-acre film.
But even
lot.
like major shows, and I think like
Yeah,
they go down
they've
there
done
'cause
Atlanta,
it's cheaper.
Atlanta and Canada.
Yeah.
I remember when Tyler Perry opened that over in Atlanta because he bought the land, and the land was like a Confederate camp in the Civil War.
Yep.
And,
Awesome.
And when he
Vibes.
bought it, and they made it was just like a big deal.
And
you
he's
know?
there,
And
and
he
he's
named,
like,
It was like the
and he named
contract.
all the studio sound stages after like prominent black actors
Awesome.
and actresses. So cool. So cool.
I dig that. That's pretty.
awesome.
That's pretty cool. Well, I'm not sure how relevant it's going to be later on in the week, but we got to talk about the Morgan Wallen situation. Morgan Wallen. By the way, if there's no Morgan Wallen haters, I'm dead. FYI. Known racist, Morgan Wallen did play on SNL this weekend. He played 2 songs, and the end of SNL on the episode, they always do good nights, where the whole cast stands on stage, and the musical guest and the host, everybody stands on stage. The host was Mikey Madison. She just
Morgan
won.
Wallen was the musical
Morgan
guest?
Wallen was the musical guest.
The
And-
goodbyes were weird, anyways. I've seen even more about the goodbyes.
What are you
But go
talking
ahead,
about?
keep going.
But that's basically the end of it. Is he performs and the whole show goes and they do good nights and he like gives Mikey Madison a hug and is like okay and then walks straight towards the camera and out of 8H where they do SNL, just like away. He's like, I'm out of here. He storms off in the middle of what's like the end of the show. You couldn't make it like 30 more seconds until the camera's turned off basically, but he walks intentionally past the camera and out of the room. And even the camera pans to Kenan Thompson and he's kind of like, what? Like, that was weird. Like him and Ego are kind of like, weird that happened.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Later on, he posts on his Instagram story a picture of his private jet with the caption, "Get me to God's country." Get me back to God's country. Something like that. Can somebody
Yeah, get me
confirm?
back to God's country.
Get me
Right.
back to God's country. As if he is saying like, oh, I was forced to be on this show maybe. And oh, get me back to God's country because I'm in, liberal territory. I'm in New York and all these liberals. Get me back to God's country.
He said, sources say he told his team he'll never be on SNL ever again.
Which is great because I don't care to hear his music ever again. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Kind of a weird beat.
Oh, got it. Wallen's previous musical guest appearances on SNL came after he was uninvited from the show in earlier 2020 when videos surfaced of him partying without a mask in COVID-19. And he said, I'm not positive for COVID, but the actions this last week were pretty short-sighted, pretty obviously affected my long-term goals and dreams. I respect the show's decision, but I know I put them in jeopardy. So the show uninvited him for a musical guest appearance.
Now,
during
5
COVID.
years later, they've re-invited him, obviously.
And
he went on the show.
They uninvited him because the news came out that he was at a party not wearing a mask during COVID. So SNL was like, hey, we don't want you on the show because
It was
you
hot,
might have
but
COVID.
You remember COVID back
Yeah.
then. You remember how everything was all crazy.
Well, I mean, that to me seems a logistical thing. Like, if you
Totally.
if you're in the news like out partying with no mask and you have a big production that you're trying to protect from COVID-19, sure. I mean, the show is probably just going, hey, like we wanted to have you, but we
Thanks,
don't want to
no
risk
thanks.
it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's like a political thing, in my opinion. But
Sure.
that seems like.
But you remember how it got.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it was
You
very
remember how it was.
polarizing.
It became a political thing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And obviously now it kind of represents something different. But
yeah,
the point being is now he's back. He's on the show. He performed. He sang his 2 songs. And now you're making this moment about you where you're like, I'm out of here. I was like, kind of like, my agent made me do this, but I never wanted to be here. I'm storming out. Get me on my private jet. I'm getting back to God's country.
on my private jet.
On my
which
private
doesn't
jet.
seem very God's country to me.
That's pretty
but-
crazy. I wonder what God's country he's talking about. Where is he going?
Well,
I was gonna say the goodbye was kind of funky, anyways, because at the very beginning when they're all like waving goodbye, the entire cast was like, like an entire like 3 feet behind Mikey Matt. Like they were. It was an awkward like. And while they're saying goodbye, you can kind of see everyone kind of like, like it was not a good week.
Bye.
so I wonder if something happened behind the scenes.
Where he's just being a tool or something?
Yeah,
Well,
like
not
maybe
even. It
something
wasn't even him.
happened.
I think people didn't like her either.
Mikey Madison?
She's
a queen.
There was a reason they were all standing back. Something weird was going on.
Something
Morgan
weird's going
Wallison
on.
currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee. So that is
God's country.
he's originally from Sneedville, Tennessee, which I thought was only a place in
Get back to
the Lorax.
Sneed.
Sneedville is a real place.
Here's my thing. He's not that important in the show. He's a musical guest. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not like he was the host. I think that was very main character energy, and it's like he wasn't even the main character there. Like, who cares? Like, and that's the other thing too. To some degree, it's like he only gets as much traction as we give him.
As we give it to
you
him.
know, it's like. Okay, storm off. Be a child. I mean, nothing about
Yeah.
his career screams adult to me. Anyways, he's been arrested.
No.
He's not put on shows because he's gotten too drunk. He's an idiot. You know, like
Clearly.
not that's not surprising, you know. And at the same time, it's like really it begins and ends with okay, cool. You stormed off the stage,
Right.
whatever, you know.
Totally.
Like, hey, I'll never be on SNL again. Great. They'll never have you on SNL. You know, in 10 years you'll be a nobody. You know, it's like
I don't really get why they had him back on in the first place. Like obviously
they gotta fill.
got the clicks,
They gotta
got
fill
the views.
40 weeks. What 40 weekends a year? How
I
often
think
do
they
they
do.
go?
Well, they take a break for the summer, but I don't know how many shows a year they do.
They got to do minimally probably 25 weekends. It's like 25 musical guests. You know, who
Yeah.
would you even have? Probably try not.
Awesome.
They
You
probably
try not to recycle.
repeat. You know, in
that,
one season
that would be
at least.
hard.
22 episodes a year seems to be the norm.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of musical guests. You know.
22 musical guests to line up around tour schedules and
Oh, yeah.
And they they've always tried to do like the hottest person at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, Chappell Roan has been on in the past year.
I think it's cool that
Ari.
they had Morgan Wallen because I think in a lot of ways Morgan Wallen doesn't really align. I think with a lot of the show's guest pool, and so I think
Sure.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool of them to have him because it's in a way it's kind of reaching across the aisle, so to speak, to be like, hey,
Totally.
we're gonna have Morgan Wallen on. This is
For
the
better or for
industry,
worse. I mean,
know?
they had Donald Trump on the year before that he got elected. He was the host.
Right.
And everybody always talks about how
And that was a whole thing I
crazy
learned.
that was.
Did we talk about this in political seasons? How television monitor there's like a division of television monitoring. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
It's not the FCC, but there's like a monitoring. I guess people that monitor this, and when it comes to SNL, they've developed a policy for political when two people are running, they have to give equal time to each candidate.
I've heard that.
It's the FEC, the Federal Election Commission.
Yes, they have to give equal time. So they don't. If the candidate doesn't want to come on, that's fine. But they have to offer the same amount of time. They like in this last election, if they had Kamala on, they had to offer Donald Trump, hey, do you want to come on for this amount of minutes? And I was like, that just shows you how much the show is charged with like what's happening in the U.S. You know?
So does that go for everybody? I mean, if Fox News, I mean, they have Pete Buttigieg on all the time, and like I like the stuff he does over there, where he's kind of like takes it not so emotionally, and he's like, yeah, I'm just breaking down things. I wonder if they do similar stuff during election, like, oh, we're gonna have Kamala Harris on for X amount of minutes or whatever.
Do you know anything about that?
The FEC's biggest thing is like if you wrote a book or like a documentary, the Citizens United versus the FEC is the big like corporation case where they funded a documentary about Hillary Clinton that shed her in really poor light. And the FEC was like, like you can't do that because it like is released within X amount of days of the election. There's like all these like regulation and rules, basically trying to keep you from doing like, in lack of a better word, like fake news propaganda,
like super biased stuff.
super biased stuff. And it kind of came back to this point of where like Citizens United, like they are this corporation and they're funding this, and so it's like, well, do corporations have the right to free speech? Like, can a corporation do this?
Right.
Because at the end it's like, well, no, we're just compiling these facts, and we might be putting them like one after another, and it looks bad when you say it like that. But if they don't have it say like, and vote for Donald Trump at the end, so that's their main thing that they do, is like making sure that like if there's literature being released and it's like extremely biased, they get it taken down. That way it's like for the idea is like that they are like they're trying to monitor. That sounds so horrible. They're trying to monitor media in the sense of like, well, you like, it needs to be like everyone needs to have equal opportunity to hear the truth of both sides.
Yeah.
Isn't
the
that the
FCC is what the TV, because it's Federal Communications Committee.
That's the FCC.
Isn't that one United versus the FEC? Isn't that the one they reference when they're like, it basically gave corporations like human rights?
Because at the end of the day, the argument that lost the FEC's case is that they said, well, one of the senators said, well, so in theory, or I think it was a Supreme Court justice, I think it went all the way up. They said, so in theory, if someone wrote a book and the book said at the very end, the last line was vote for so-and-so, you could take that off the shelves and ban that from being read. And the government was like, well, yes. Yeah. And so then it became a matter of the government can ban government banning a book is not okay. And so even it doesn't matter where the money comes from. And that's what has created these like massive corporations funding political. It's horrible.
It was interesting. I remember the reason I heard about this and I just looked it up is that when the SNL came out last political cycle and said, we're not going to have either of the candidates on. We're not doing either one of them.
Yeah.
And then they had Kamala Harris on for like a small bit towards the end, like closer to the election. And the FCC was like, this is technically like a violation of equal time unless you give Trump the same amount. So they ran a Trump ad during, like they ran the same amount of time, a Trump message, whatever the Trump campaign wanted. Sure. They didn't have them on, but as like a loophole, they're just like, we're just going to run this ad one time, and that's considered as equal time. And it was kind of interesting. I don't know, but
I do like that our government does like try to monitor that in that sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can imagine people with the most money would just rule the world. I mean, to some degree,
we would hate for that to happen.
I would
rule
never
the
have
elections,
it in my
I
world.
should say, and it already does happen in other ways. But you know what I mean? Like on TV, at least it's to some degrry. Some people live and buy what they see on TV. You know, it's like that's the way it is.
What I'm surprised hasn't happened is more like what about these like famous sports guys? When are they going to start all running for Congress? Because they got $1 billion.
Oh, you're talking
when
about
am I going to see
Tatis going?
Yeah,
for
when am I going to see
they
like
have too many head injuries? So
well,
you're talking about
like
famous
that
sports
has
guys?
stopped any of our other politicians? They have head
No.
injuries.
Oh.
I'll tell you right now, Manny Machado's already doing. He invested in an MLS team here in San Diego. He's already paving the way for mayor of San Diego.
And Mayor of San Diego.
I'm in.
Manny Machado. If he ran for mayor of San Diego,
I'd vote for
he'd
him.
have my vote.
I will say,
Manny Machado for president.
I don't know. Does the name Arnold Schwarzenegger mean anything to you?
That's what I'm saying. Why isn't
Rich sports guy
I feel like
turned rich actor guy.
I feel like he was more actor guy when he did
politics guy.
Turned adulterer.
Okay. Well, that was in there.
Did you see that? Did you see that new thing of the 2 pictures of his 2 sons?
Awesome.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
His one of his sons is in a One White Lotus. You guys watch that show?
Really? No, I need to watch that show.
The newest season he's in, and
Is that what, who, Patrick?
Spitting Image, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I believe is his name.
Yeah.
Spitting Image.
Spitting Image of the guy really has like his eyes and this like crazy.
Did you
look.
know?
Yeah, really.
Do you know what Patrick Schwarzenegger owns? Was the creator of?
I just found this out this week.
Patrick?
Blaze Pizza.
Nice.
Disgusting.
What?
It is. It's not good.
He owned this chain of
Blaze.
Blaze pizzas.
You're choosing the wrong toppings then.
Go ahead.
No,
I've had some
Blaze
great
was,
pizza at Blaze.
Blaze was the place where you're like, oh my god, pizza with my own toppings. But then after one topping, you got to pay for every single topping.
Well, it's all
It
those
was so
places.
not biology.
It's like pizza if you hate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never had Blaze, to be fair, but
so
I only had it in
Good for you.
Vegas.
never had Blaze.
I
California Pizza Kitchen is what I had.
Oh, really? California Pizza Kitchen?
Not good.
Not good.
Gosh, you might as well just go to Chili's.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on.
Well, let's
Hold
not
on.
get carried away.
Whoa, did you see
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
the Chili's in Scranton, Pennsylvania is
I sent this
opening
to
up?
you. Yes.
And it is gonna. They have because there's an iconic scene of The Office.
Multiple scenes. at
Multiple
Chili's.
scenes. Yeah, it is. Chili's plays a part in The
Big
Office.
part of
Wait.
The Office.
And there was never a Chili's there?
No, there was, but it was like corporate. You know how they all kind of look the same?
Yeah.
They have taken this Chili's.
Oh,
in
is it Office
Scranton,
themed?
and
Time period.
They time perioded back to when The Office was
Awesome.
still there,
Got
so
it.
like early 2000s.
No,
They-
no new branding.
And they hired damn near every supporting actor of the Office show to be in their commercial. Like,
Oh
Awesome.
yeah,
it was.
and take their promo pics.
They
It's
couldn't get Steve
crazy.
I don't know
Carell.
about you guys.
Couldn't
No.
afford
My
him.
family grew up going to Chili's.
No, not me.
Yeah,
Every
we
birthday
did.
party
We
was
did.
free chips and salsa. We sat in the same booth.
Really.
I'm trying to think of what our.
We didn't have
were
a
Olive
Chili's
Garden.
up in-
were
We
Olive
went all the
Garden.
time.
Up in the boondocks where I'm from.
My family was and still kind of is a big Olive Garden family.
My
guys
family
do
has.
love an Olive
We
Garden.
did go to Olive
Love
Garden a lot
Olive
too,
Olive
but
Garden
Chili's
was
more.
fancy. Like if you're going to
Yeah,
fancy,
it was
fancy.
fancy.
Yeah, it was fancy. And a lot of my memories at Olive Garden as a kid was like it was like 14 of us. It was like the whole extended like family that was in like
Dang.
you know it was like somebody's graduation or whatever, and it was like it was never like we never really went as like a little tiny unit. It was always like the big table in the back.
Bring out the whole
Like,
family.
Our
Yeah,
family was
literally,
much
when you're
more
here, your family,
like
you know?
the like
Of
the like
course.
one-off mom and pops, like Marcherios, Donatos, like little like one-offs in the East County.
I tell you, I didn't start going to these chain places until I started hanging out with you guys. These these chain restaurant, Olive Garden, Chili's. Tell
no,
you what.
no, and I know that's true because Ryan's parents came up to me not too long ago, and they're like, "Annie, have you had the Chili's 3 for me?
yeah,
That
you're
you
like,
you picked
"Have I?"
3?"
That still
The
is so
smash
surprising
burger?
that their first time
Oh
ever at
my
Chili's was only a
gosh.
couple months ago.
Like, and they.
I
became
don't believe that.
obsessed.
I don't believe.
I
it
don't
either.
believe it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't believe it.
All right.
I don't believe it either. But that's all right. I mean, that's for another day, I suppose.
My my credibility on this show is really slipping. Apparently.
it's okay.
No, I believe you. I just don't believe that your parents hadn't been to Chili's before. a
So
couple
now
months
it's
ago.
a matter that Noah and Tanya are liars.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
there you go.
Wow. Wow.
Well, Cara, what do you think? I mean, you've been around the family longer than me. You think they've been to Chili's before?
Yes, because we would go to Chili's in college and before that, and
Oh, so hold on. In college, so you have been to chains before us.
yes, he has.
Kara was
Okay,
involved
first
in
of all,
you guys. I'm
Ryan
sorry.
loved Denny's. So
I
like,
started.
let's be real.
I started dating this girl that lived in El Cajon, and we were going to Denny's. Oh my gosh, we would go to Chili's.
So
all these places.
where did you go?
You've been going to the PB Denny's since you were 13.
Well, yeah, after like a performance or something. Absolutely, sure.
So where was your family going for outings like that?
Oh, outings? Well, what is it, like my birthday or something?
No, like
McDonald's,
whatever. Okay.
Jack in the Box.
No,
You guys remember-
birthday.
You went to
Birthday.
terrible train.
Jack in the
Denny's
Box.
had the 2468 menu.
They have it.
Yeah.
It's back. They have it again.
Do they have the grilled cheese?
I don't
Do
know.
they have the grilled cheese?
I don't know.
The grilled cheese that had mozzarella
Hold
sticks.
on, I'll
That's
check.
how you
I'll
know.
check. I'll check.
We're definitely heading back into recession. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
The 2468 is coming back.
Yep.
What do they got at McDonald's? They got a 50-cent cheeseburger. We're cooked. We are
What'd you
absolutely
say?
cooked.
There's something else that we saw
There's
lately.
a new Kesha song that's
Oh,
out.
we're cooked.
Guys,
There's a
we're
new
going
Kesha
back.
song with
It's called We're Going
T-Pain.
Back.
It's
It's
called.
T-Pain's back.
It's called 2008 is back, baby.
Got a brand new car.
With
We went
T-Pain?
to
We're done.
Guys,
Kara and I went to Abercrombie
better
and
buy
Fitch
some
in
stocks
Hollister.
in tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Abercrombie and Fitch has gone up. Hollister has stayed the same.
Hollister, literally, I swear they found some old stock from 2007 and opened them and put them back on the shelves. It is
no.
exactly what was in that store when we were in like adolescence.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, recession's back. Go ahead, invest in movie theaters.
Okay, the
invest in
2468
tobacco.
menu.
Hear me
Here we
out.
go, Annie. We have Everyday Value Slam, Mama's Fried Chicken House Salad, Chicken Tender Fries, Loaded Breakfast Sandwich. Whoa,
How much?
that's crazy.
Is that 2, 4, 6, or 8?
I'm guessing the loaded breakfast. Loaded breakfast is 8.
Oh man, that's true.
Classic burger and fries, super slam,
So the
grilled
chicken
cheese
wraps
with a
there?
bowl of soup.
Chicken wraps there.
No,
They took away.
It's like
they took
all-
away.
it's
Build
all
your,
different.
build your own chicken wraps. They're not there.
no.
Okay.
It doesn't count if
We're not
every
going.
if everything's
$6.
$8. It doesn't really count, right?
Yeah.
As a 2468 menu.
Let's
It's
see
like you
what's
can get
$2.
2 or 4 or 6 of these things,
And
all
they're
for
all
$8.
For $2, you can get a glass of water.
Okay,
And
for $4 you can get 2
For
glasses of
$2,
water.
you can add French
and
toast to your
you
meal.
can get all of this.
For $8, we'll give you 4 glasses
The
of
super
water.
slam
Or
is $10.
One pancake.
What?
It's just disrespectful. At some point,
Stupid.
it
Yeah.
just it feels like
Okay.
they think that we're clowns
I have a
and we're
quiz.
not.
I have a quiz for you.
Okay, give it
I'm
to
going to
me.
give you a simple math problem, and I want you to, off the top of your dome, I want you just to answer it.
Okay.
And what you think it is.
Deal.
Okay?
69.
No. It's
Good
not
answer.
69. 6 times 8.
48.
Very good. Let's get another one for you here. You
I
ready?
hate this game.
Okay. Should I stay in the family of sixes?
Oh.
Sure. I love my
Two
6s.
fives.
Oh, you want to do 5?
Five. Great at
is
fives.
easy.
5 times 9.
45.
Good. Very good. You guys are sharp. You guys are really sharp. Carry your turn.
Oh, come on, get your times tables, Kara. You got this. You got this.
Please don't do a 7.
I was gonna do a 7. I was gonna do a 7. Literally, I won't.
Hey, here's
7
an
times
easy
7,
one.
come on.
44.
No, 49.
Oh.
It's 49.
That's our showcase.
7s were not good for me.
The sevens is
the reason
hard.
I'm quizzing you is because I went into YouTube Kids today to set up. We had a thing at church where they needed to entertain the kids, so I was putting on YouTube Kids, and they're like, do you wanna? I just was logging in. I was like, okay, you wanna? We want to make sure you're an adult, and they said 6 times. What's 6 times 8? I fully blanked.
Oh, me too. I
was
wouldn't
like,
have known. off
Your
the top of
times
my head.
tables you don't have locked in?
I was
See,
like,
what's hard for me is I'll do that in my mind. I do 6 times 6, and then I'll add 12.
Yes, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it takes longer.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's wrong with me. I sat there, I was like,
Do you see?
You
sometimes
go, a different one. A
sometimes
different
I
one,
do
a
have to
different one.
count it out in my head on my
I
fingers.
was shocked. I'm gonna get multiplication flashcards. I'm slipping. you guys.
7s and
I'm
9s.
slipping.
You know, they don't
Bye.
really like do that anymore.
I know. Remember, you
Multiplication
used to,
charts?
you
Yeah,
used
they
to-
do.
We used to do
No,
like big
no.
quizzes on it. all
They
the
do
time.
the they do the quick quizzes still.
I don't know if they do.
No.
No, they don't
thought
worry
they
about
did.
that
No,
stuff.
Kara, they do. It's the setup of how you do multiplication is completely different.
No,
you do
they,
a box
they went
now.
they went back on that. They don't
Did
do
they?
Common Core anymore.
Oh, I sure hope.
They
No.
did Common Core and they took away Common Core again like 2 years ago.
If not, I'm homeschooling my kids.
That
Back to
tracks.
God's America. Take me back to God's country.
I'm going back to God's country.
I was
On my
so
private
embarrassed.
jet.
I was so
my-
embarrassed.
to
I could
my
not do 6
multiplication
times 8 to
tutor.
save my life, and I was
6
like,
times
you know
8
what,
is
I'm slipping.
48, dog. Come on.
I'm
Okay,
slipping.
ready?
No.
Ready?
No, I'm not.
9
gonna
times
get
8.
it. 9 times.
That's
8.
a hard one for me.
No. Oh shoot, 9s are hard.
9 times
9
8.
72.
Eights are hard.
72.
It's
It's
I
because I
would've
did
never
8
got-
times
hey,
8.
I was using your
Hey.
trick. I was doing 9 times 9.
Uh-huh.
and
I
then
would've-
Oh, you went
backtracking.
back.
I would have
couldn't get
never
there in
gotten
time.
it.
9 times 9 is 81.
I got my
and then
fives.
backtracked by 1 9.
I got my
and
threes.
then
I did 6. I did it 8 times 8 plus another 9.
I really
Oh,
benefited from
That's
that.
wild. What? That's crazy.
I
right? Is that
really
crazy?
benefited
That'll be the
from the
ADD.
No Child Left Behind thing.
They didn't leave you behind?
No, because I did not pass all my multiplication tables, and they said, "Well, congrats, Andy,
Push
you're
her
going to
through.
the next grade."
Dude, well now it's like bring all the kids. None of them are getting
I-
left behind. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Have you seen kids?
No Child
I'm not a
Left
true
Behind.
American
Come
because
on.
I never got higher than an F on a states and capitals test. I
You never got
always
that-
failed.
Oh.
What?
Always failed.
I
Talking
got 100% on both.
Failed.
On Wacko Warner?
I remember
50
as a
states
First
in
of
the
all,
capital?
can we
remember as a
button
kid,
that?
you
Karen
had
going,
to-
I'm not a true
there
American.
were
True.
two tests. You had to one, you had to name all 50 states where they were. It was like a blank sheet
Yes.
right in there.
Yep,
And then
I
the
failed.
second test was what's the state name and the capital.
Failed.
And I
Yes.
got 100% on that. And I remember,
Okay, ready?
No, I don't know anymore.
What's the capital of Alaska?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Come on.
It's not Anchorage.
No, it's Juneau.
Oh, okay. See,
Quiz me.
homeschool is
Quiz
really.
me.
This is why you should homeschool your kids.
Lock
That's why
me
you
in.
should
He's
homeschool your
got
kids.
a lot of them locked
He
in.
really knows them.
You got to watch
Minnesota.
Animaniacs.
Minnesota.
Bismarck? No. It's I don't know. Minnesota.
I don't know either.
But I remember
it's wrong.
I got 100% on the test, and my buddy was also studying, and his parents told him that if he got 100%, they'd get him a cell phone because this is before cell phones, and he got like an 85%.
St. Paul.
He got 85%.
Did you
Still
switch?
got a cell phone.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh, man.
I got 100%, and he didn't even get 100%, and he got a cell phone.
So you wanted your parents' friends to buy you.
No, I'm just saying I was mad
your-
that
your-
he didn't.
your
He
friend's
didn't get
parents?
the 100. Like if he'd gotten the 100, I would be like, respect, get the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? But they gave him a cell phone anyway, and I was like, well, that's not cool because I studied hard to get 100%. No, I didn't have.
Did your
incentive
parents
at
get
all.
you a cell phone?
No.
When did you get a cell phone?
My parents were just like, oh, that's a good question. I think I got it in 7th grade.
Bismarck's the capital of North Dakota, by the way.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
St. Paul is Minnesota.
We should have a quiz next week.
Quiz me. I got all 50 right here.
Really?
Could you draw them from memory?
Yeah, absolutely.
Still can't tell you
I
where
can
the
tell you
states are.
all
oh
the
my
states.
gosh. Okay,
You
let's do
still
it.
can tell
Wait,
where
that's
all
a
the
video
states are?
for
Let's do
sure.
it. Let's do it.
Nope.
No,
map.
there's no prep. You can't look ahead. You can't.
I couldn't tell you. There's entire blocks of my childhood blocked out. I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you all the 50 states and their capitals. Speaking of capitals, I want to capitalize on one thing here, and that's our Patreon. Folks, for $4 a month, you can not only support this show, What the Podcast, big thank you, by the way, to our Patreon supporters, but you can also get access to a lot of content, okay? I'm talking about the post show. Does that mean anything to you? Post show, 15 minutes extra. Each week we do a little mini episode. Following the episode, we say, whatever the heck we want to say. That's kind of like What the Podcast After Dark. So you get to watch that. You see some behind the scenes stuff. You can support us for $4 a month on the Patreon. Thank you so much in advance, and get signed up for it down in the bio.
Alrighty.
I think you need to tighten that up so
I know.
it ends right at the end of the
Well,
music.
I had a long build up.
Yeah.
I said speaking of capitalism
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Any final takeaways, thoughts, guys?
no.
Yeah.
Go Padres.
Go Padres. We're all going to our first game of the season tonight.
I know. And all
You
separately,
are.
which is
All in
crazy.
different sections. Kind of
Yeah.
amazing how that happened.
We'll see each other.
We will. I'll wave to you when I'm on the big screen.
You're on
I'll
the big
see.
screen.
I'll see you guys when we're getting our $20 cup of coffee from Mostra.
Oh God!
Oh, I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. I'm definitely gonna be hitting that.
Oh man.
Maybe throw a little tequila in there or something. Hey, on the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan,
I'm John.
and we'll see you next week on
What
What
the
the
Come on,
Podcast.
you guys. Come on.
I
need
did
you
it.
in it. I need you in it.
We did it.
250 some odd episodes.
58. No. 228.
No, there's no making you guys happy.
I'm glad we're all clear on that.
It does feel like we've been in the 220s for
Some time.
several months now.
Yeah.
Listen, plateauing is a real common thing.
At your age.
Hey yo.
Hey.